My front door was right there.
That was your front door.
I rescued chickens. I'm still in denial. My tortoise, he was not moving. And I asked him, I said, pick up the turtle, take him to your house. I said, I cannot have people see him like this.
Today we're meeting with Sophia, a longtime Altadena resident and independent animal rescuer who recently lost her home in the Eaton Fire.
Let me show you my
Please, I would love to see
my previous home.
your previous home.
My name is Sofia Armendariz Vidal, and I have been an Altadena resident for 30 years. Altadena drew me in. When I saw Altadena Drive, all the greenery and all the trees, I knew I had found my place. This is my home of 28 years, and this house was actually known as the Turtle House. And the reason it was called the Turtle House is because I used to have a 100-pound tortoise. His name was Ed, and this was his domain. So this gave the neighbors an opportunity to come visit with him. I would let a few people come and feed him. People have known Ed for decades, so this was the Turtle House. My husband brought Ed to our home about 2004. He was working at a job site. The people were relocating to New York and needed a place for the tortoise. When he brought the tortoise, he was maybe inches. We started putting him outside. We built him a little home, and he used to roam the front yard. His house was right here, and it had his name on it. It said Ed, and he even had a little thermostat to keep him cool in the summer months and warm in the winter.
And would he come over and eat the pumpkins?
He would eat everything green. He was a little bulldozer. Ed was so loved by the neighborhood. I had friends who would just come and visit Ed. They were not here to visit me. That's how much of an impact Ed had on the community. Maybe people didn't know my name, but they knew Ed's name.
So where was your front door?
My front door was right there.
That was your front door?
Yeah.
So you would, okay, I see. So you would walk in here, and then was it your living room?
Yeah, it was my living room coming in.
And then your kitchen was there?
My kitchen was way over here. It overlooked the pool. Those waterfalls my husband made for me, he put the tiles on one by one. This was my happy place. I used to spend hours in my pool. I mean, we had shade, we had fans, lawn furniture, everything. I first learned about this house in probably December of 1996. I was pregnant with my son. The fact that this home had a front yard, a backyard, and a pool, I knew that this was the place I had to get for my family. When I was a little girl, I didn't have the luxury of living in a home. I grew up in a one-bedroom apartment with my mom, my stepfather, my grandmother, and two of my siblings. I wanted to be able to provide a home for my son where he could have his own room and invite friends over. That was very special to me, and it was the core of my existence. The chickens in the back, Tiny and Lupita.
And how many chickens did you have?
31.
31 chickens.
I used to rescue chickens from people that could no longer keep them. Next thing you knew, we had 31 chickens. What I would do is I would take turns. Sometimes they would come and visit me by the pool. And I mean, they were so cool. They knew not to go in the pool. We have boundaries, but they would come and visit me. I was very happy with my chickens, with my babies. I used to call them my feather babies. This was as I used to call it, my backyard paradise. I never dreamt, imagined, or even considered that my home would not be my home, that it would be gone. My husband got a phone call letting him know about the fires in Altadena. And that's how we learned that there was a fire in Eaton Canyon, and we grew concerned, but never would we have imagined that it was gonna spread the way it did, or that it was gonna reach us. As the night progressed, family members and friends kept telling us, hey, you need to evacuate, the fire is approaching. And we're thinking, we have no evacuation orders. We haven't been notified. And because we were not getting evacuation notice, it was under control. When friends and relatives were calling us to see if we had evacuated yet, we didn't think it was as close or as serious as it was. Our comeback was, sure, we could evacuate now. Will you take us in? I said, it's my husband, my son, our 100-pound tortoise, our 31 chickens, a cat, and a dog. Will you take us in? They're like, silence. We had nowhere to go. My husband and I, we were just not going to leave and leave our animals here. I mean, that was just not even a possibility. At around 3:25 a.m., we finally got the evacuation notice. By the time we got the evacuation, the fire was already on us. I'm like, hurry up, we have to go. We have to leave. My son, I told my husband, get him out of here. Get him out of here. I knew that my son had to leave before us. He had his own vehicle. All I could do was trust on his survival instincts that he was going to get to safety. The winds must have been 80, 90 miles per hour. I mean, it was hard to walk a straight line. I was tripping on stuff. Things were hitting me. The fire was so thick, there was no time to go ahead and start gathering chickens. So I said, we need to open up the chicken coops. I said, we have to give the chickens a chance. What I didn't want is for the chickens to be enclosed in the predator-proof coops. This way, they could have an opportunity to leave. So I went ahead and I opened each coop. I saw Buttermilk, which was the guardian of that coop, and I said, Buttermilk, please take care of the girls. I went into my Silky coop. There was 2 chickens there that were about to hatch eggs. They were due at any second now. That was Sunshine and Blue. And then I had a special needs chicken that was Cutie. And when I opened up her coop, she made eye contact with me, started making noises. I understood, take me with you. Cutie, I went ahead and grabbed her, put her underneath my arm. Everything was on fire.
Every house here?
Every house. I saw Ed's house and I opened his door so that he could get out. It was all about trying to save our animals. I just figured I was gonna die here. Everything around me was already on fire. It wasn't like little fires, it was like full-on fires. And I thought, wow, this is where I'm gonna leave. I had the cat and I had a chicken. And before we left, I actually thanked my house for providing me shelter. I said, thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't do more. And when I left, I actually locked my door. I still had hopes. I still had to secure my homestead. After my husband and I, we reached his cousin's house. We took a shower. We put our clothes in the washer because we stunk like campfire. It must have been like around 10:15, 10:20, around there. I told my husband, let's go back to the house. We have to see how our chickens are, how it is, and if the house made it. My husband, at this point, we have reached the outer parts of Altadena. It must have been like around 10:15, 10:20, around there. And then my son calls me, and the pain, the broken voice, he says, Mom, I just came back from our house. He says, our house burned. Everything burned. All of the chickens are dead. The pain in his voice is something I will never forget. I think the fact that he called me to prepare me, that everything was gone, that the chickens was gone, kind of shocked me into a level of numbness that was unrecognizable. I just built the wall. I said, okay. I said, thank you for letting me know. We're almost there. We're gonna go. So we turned onto my block where there was a house 5 hours before, was nothing. We got out of the car, and the first thing I see as I get out of the car, both my husband and I, we saw a tortoise. Not moving. His head was on the ground. We just walked slowly. I didn't approach him. I couldn't touch him. I just knew if I touched him, I was gonna break down, collapse. That time, a family friend came, and he just saw our house, and he got choked up. And I asked him, I said, Martine, I said, please help my husband pick up the turtle, take him to your house, and bury him. I said, I cannot have people see him like this. I said, I can't. So between the both of them, they went ahead and carried him. Took him to his car and left, and they buried him at his house. I'm still in denial about losing my tortoise. He was supposed to outlive us. He was supposed to play with my son's children. And my chickens, that were my babies, each one had a name, each one had a personality. And you could question me on anything about any one of those chickens and you would get the whole story. They increased the quality of our life as far as happiness. And when they came down to it, we couldn't save them. And we carry a tremendous amount of guilt. My only consolation is my son made it out safe, because there's no universe where I could survive without my son. It is our goal to return to Altadena, because why would I want to live anywhere else? Right here, look at all the mountain view. It has always been our intention to rebuild. So we know that we're in for the long haul. I want my house to be my backyard paradise again, my temple, my safety. There's going to be challenges, but I'm not one to give up. So my husband and I were ready.
If you would like to support the family featured in this video, please check the description for links to help.